stop. Slow motion. I wanna see.
At Old Dominion University in Virginia. Tonight, authorities are now investigating the shooting as a possible terror attack. Sources say the gunman walked into a classroom, asked if it was an ROTC class, and then opened fire. Authorities say the gunman has ties to ISIS.
ROTC. ROTC is like the junior army, right? Like they train. They essentially they train like young people, from my understanding, to pursue a military career later on in the future. Like I remember I went to this super white middle school, right? And all the white boys were like, "Yeah, I'm ROTC," like, you know, whatever. Like they'd walk around in their like military uniforms and shit. It's kind of grooming, if you ask me. I'm not really a fan of the ROTC or the military in general, but obviously, I'm not a fan of walking into the classroom and shooting at them either. Right?
Pierre Thomas.
Showing up to ODU, 20 cop cars we just went by.
Tonight, terror on the campus of Old Dominion University in Norfolk, Virginia, with members of the school's ROTC program targeted by a suspect with ties to ISIS.
Active shooter on the ODU campus. We got cops running across. The entire police force of Norfolk is here.
It was just before 11 a.m. Police swarming the campus moments after a gunman opened fire in a classroom.
All of a sudden we heard a commotion. A lot of people rumbling, starting to get up. We started running, and that's...
I'm so glad I'm not in school anymore. Because you're really just a sitting duck, bro. Like, every school is a fucking target. Every single school. My mom works in a school too, so I really hate hearing about schools getting shot up. The good news, though, for two things, right? Number one, people are aware of what a mass shooting is in this country, and pretty much everyone has already come up with their fucking exit strategy at this point. Maybe I'm just OCD. Maybe people don't do that, but you've definitely had the thought sitting in like some vulnerable area. It's like, damn, what if someone just burst in the room and just started shooting right now, right? So it's like, if a mass shooting is happening, people know exactly how to respond to it, which is basically hide, run, fight. It looks like ROTC fought. Ironically enough, this brings me to the second good thing. What a terrible place to attack, right? Like, even though these are just like student military, it's like they're very much okay with like killing people, right? Like, why else would they be in this organization, right? Do you think there's no guns in the ROTC? You know what I mean? You think they don't train them how to use weapons? Like, come on, son. Come on. He literally walked in the door, was like, "Hey, is this ROTC?" Bang, 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 bang. You know? How this guy was subdued is actually pretty funny, too.
Heard gunshots.
The suspect has been identified by the FBI as 36-year-old Mohammed Jallo.
You hate to see it's a black guy. I mean, this guy, I think I don't know what his like exact background is. I don't think he's like purely American black, but still, Jesus, it's not a good look. I remember when black people be like, "All right, well, at least we don't shoot up the school." You know, mass shootings are just so mainstream in this country now that it's like anybody could be a shooter. Trans people are getting in on the fun now. It's ridiculous. Not that many black people, right? Not that many trans people. But, I mean, there's so many that the answer's not zero, you know?
Former member of the Virginia National Guard.
Oh, former military member, right? It's almost like the military radicalizes people. Damn.
Sources tell ABC News he calmly walked into the classroom, asked if it was an ROTC class, and then shot the instructor several times. And
what a coward. You're going to shoot the instructor first? You know, probably because that's the biggest threat to him, another adult. What a pussy. Seriously. Oh.
2 students who were wounded. The instructor later died.
We have confirmed reports that prior to him conducting this act of terrorism, he shouted or stated Allahu Akbar.
And all of a sudden I hear like just a bunch.
Allahu Akbar. Damn. This giving me flashbacks to the early 2000s, bro. I remember Allahu Akbar. You know what I mean? Just joking with my friends about that shit in elementary school, not even know what that shit meant. Like, oh, that's what terrorists say. It's like, damn. It really only means praise God, right? So they kind of hijacked that phrase with all this terrorist bullshit, you know?
Bodies hitting each other, like this loud altercation, and there's just like a person in a tan coat curled up on the ground with their backpack on in front of the Starbucks, just laying there.
Tonight, FBI Director Kash Patel posting. The shooter is now deceased thanks to a group of brave students who stepped in and subdued him.
Subdued him. Yo, they clapped that motherfucker. I think she's about to say how they did it.
Students that were in that room that subdued him and rendered him no longer alive. I don't know.
That's one way to put it, girl. They rendered him no longer alive. I think she's kind of like softening the language because she doesn't want to be like, oh, these kids killed him. You know, because I bet they didn't have joy in it. I mean, they are OTC, but I'm sure they didn't have any joy in it. Like, it's probably going to fuck them up. You know, I'm sure some of them are going to be like, actually, I don't want to be in the fucking military. Killing people actually sucks. You know?
To say it, but they basically were able to terminate the threat.
So he was not shot?
He was not shot.
He wasn't even shot, my boy. It wasn't even shot, my boy. This is some hand-to-hand. I wonder if they're going to really say how it happened. Hold on.
Jalloh was convicted in 20...
No, they're not. Basically, one of the students took out a knife and stabbed him. All right? They poked him up, all right? Good riddance. Good riddance to this fool. You know? I mean, I'm sure it's pretty... Well, first, why did that kid have a knife on him? Right? Yo, bro. Like, I wonder if after they're like, yo, bro, where'd you get that knife from? Now, me, I used to have, like, this foldable knife that I kept in my wallet in high school because I thought I was a badass, right? That shit was so not sharp, though, you know? And I was like, yeah, look at me. I got a knife. Like, you know? I was a crazy kid. You know, so maybe he was another fellow crazy kid that just keeps a knife in his pocket, but I don't know. And I don't carry knives around anymore. Or do I? Or do I?
16 of attempting to provide material support to ISIS for trying to acquire weapons for an attack on U.S. soil. He served 8 years of an 11-year prison sentence and was released in 2024.
Damn. Did 8 years for providing material support to ISIS. And then also, too, he, like, in order to get released early, he was like, I'm disgusted by ISIS. ISIS is terrible. I mean, clearly not. Clearly not. I mean, you know, clearly came back to whatever shit he was on before.
David Jalloh was under a 5-year supervised release in which he was to check in with his probation officer regularly. And he was also subject to having his internet activity reviewed. But tonight, so many questions, including...
I mean, shit, bro. Like, I think this is just kind of proof that, number one, you can't really rehabilitate someone from being radicalized to being a terrorist. That kind of sucks. I mean, maybe in other cases, but clearly that didn't work here. Number two, they were monitoring his internet information, but clearly these thoughts were still ruminating. Clearly he could indulge with this culture in some kind of way to the point where he got brought to this, you know? Also, again, like the other story, there's like no way that this isn't at least partially inspired by the shit that's going on in Iran right now. Like, why now? Why now? Right? Like, what radicalized him all of a sudden? How do you get a gun, by the way? What the hell? You're a felon and a terrorist. Like, how the fuck you even get a gun in the first place?
Now stop. Slow motion. I wanna see.